What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. The Detroit Lions are not the Detroit Lions of old. That's what I'm taking away from this Week 1 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to talk about my main takeaways from that game and just overall in the Lions franchise right now because I think there's a lot of good vibes going about them. And I thought they played very, very well yesterday. Before I get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. I got a couple questions for you. What were your main takeaways from this Week 1 victory over the Chiefs? And who impressed you? Who on the Lions team or on the Chiefs too, if you want to give them credit? Who impressed you in this game? Because there's a lot of guys that deserve a lot of love. I'm gonna kind of run down the list. All right, so let's get into it. Also, for those of you that already subscribed to the channel, haven't really recorded all week. I've had COVID all week, so kind of been dealing with that. But I'm feeling better now, so we're gonna break down this Lions dub. My main takeaway from the Detroit Lions in this dub was they were just composed and they were disciplined. Didn't have a lot of penalties. I don't think they had any false starts or offsides. A lot of those discipline things were like when you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, those mental errors you tend to make. They didn't make them. I think that they've been very, very well coached up by Dan Campbell, and they're kind of an embodiment of him, and he deserves a ton of credit for that. It's only one win. It's only Week 1, but if you're looking for how they played last season and going into this one, this looks like a team that's very, very talented, very, very going to be tough to beat. But yeah, so they're disciplined, right? They had the one defensive pass interference on Cameron Sutton that I thought was very ticky-tacky. Kind of was making a play on the ball, mixed contact with the receiver. I think you could have let that one go, but then again, if I was a Chiefs fan, I probably would have wanted it called. So, it's kind of how it goes on that one. But other than that, they really didn't have any penalties. And this is a team before that would be getting flagged at the biggest moments. They had the one fumble from Marvin Jones. That was the first of his career, so, that sucks. But that was the only play in the game where I was really like, Jesus, really, guys? So that kind of killed the drive. But they recovered from that. The old Lions teams would have folded right there. They didn't fold. They got right back in it. They got back on defense. They did what they had to do. They made a play. Brian Branch gets the pick six, and they didn't roll over. That's what really sums the difference in this team from past Lions teams is the fact they just didn't quit. They didn't let a bad mistake kill them, and they didn't roll over like that. So I thought that was very, very key. Another takeaway I think I had is that C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's a playmaker on his defense. He adds a tenacity and a toughness and a chippiness that they didn't have. You can tell that they have a little bit more of an attitude on defense with him back there. I love his impact on this team. Eagles are one of my teams, so seeing him leave them kind of sucked. But going to the Lions, I was like, damn, that secondary gonna be nice with him there. So. That was the secondary in general. Brian Branch, like I said, he had the pick six. Would have played probably the entire game if he didn't get cramps. I thought Cameron Sutton was really good, minus the defensive pass interference that I thought could have gone either way. Kirby Joseph was good. Like they just played well in the secondary. They didn't make a lot of mental errors, and I think that was key. Another takeaway I had is that they're definitely easing their first round rookies into everything. They're not just going to throw a full workload at them immediately. I wasn't surprised with Gibbs because I figured Gibbs was going to be he's going to be in a committee with David Montgomery, but the Jack Campbell one I was a little surprised he didn't play as much, right? So Gibbs only played He played 27% of the snaps and Campbell played 38% of the snaps. So the Gibbs one I thought that was a lot lower than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more around like 40-45%. Thought it was going to be kind of 50-50 off rip, but it wasn't. I thought he was effective nonetheless whenever he did touch the ball. He made a lot of plays out of nothing, and I think he gives that offensive spark that nobody else can. So I do like the trajectory of where the offense will go with him. I think as the season goes along, you'll start to see him eat into the more touches for him and less from Montgomery. I thought that nonetheless, as a backfield, they were effective together. So I did like that. I would like to see more Gibbs in the receiving game, more as like a slot receiver. Think that they can get a little bit more tricky with him, but it is only Week 1. You're not gonna show your whole playbook Week 1. You're gonna kind of sprinkle this in. So I think as the season goes, we're gonna get a lot more usage out of Gibbs than we got in Week 1. So I wouldn't overreact to that. Jack Campbell though, I thought he would play more. You draft a linebacker in the first round to kind of shore up your defense a little bit. He only played 38% of the snaps, but he had an amazing diving pass breakup that I think set up a 3rd and long that really kind of killed the Chiefs' drive. Because if he doesn't make that pass breakup, it's probably another 15 yards after that they get. He was good. He was good when he played. He was very, very effective. That PBU was nice. You kind of see the flash of why he was drafted where he was, because he's supposed to be a guy that can stuff the run and fly around the field, and he made a big play right there. So I think between Gibbs and Jack Campbell, you have like a fun first round that was just kind of we just got a little taste of what they can be. So they're definitely easing those guys in. Another takeaway I had is that Aidan Hutchinson is an absolute star, bona fide star. Dude was in the backfield all game long, chasing Patrick Mahomes, doing what very few NFL players can. He had 7 pressures in this game. 7. That's a lot of pressures for one game. You see like the elite guys get 3 or 4, and that's a good game. He had 7 against the best quarterback in the NFL. And I thought he was in the backfield all game, especially with the right tackle and on the Chiefs, Jawan Taylor, who constantly lined up out of position, off the line, and it's not getting called. And he's false starting every time, getting an early jump on him. And Hutchinson just didn't give in to that. He didn't quit. There was just a lot of, my motor is not going to die. I'm going to be here all night long, and you guys are going to have to deal with it. He was facing heavy double teams, and he was still getting through. So they got a bona fide star right there on the end. That dude is going to be a problem for a long time. He's one of them ones. That's what they say, right? So love what Hutchinson did. I expect a lot more of it as his career goes. This was just a hey, I am really good at football kind of game. And he kind of just, on national television, showed a lot of people. So I love what Hutch is going to be able to do. True star. To get to some other guys on the offense, I thought Goff played a good game. He didn't turn the ball over, kept good care of it. And he was just good. Made the right throws, and made big throws too, especially. So I thought he was good. But Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Sam Laporta were kind of like, everybody knew Amon-Ra was going to be really, really good. He's a top 10 receiver, for God's sakes. Sam Laporta was a rookie, right? He's a young guy. Like, we don't know, was he going to play more than Brock Wright in week 1? And he did. He played a lot more than Brock Wright in week 1. And he did a lot as a receiver and as a run blocker, and even some pass blocking. But the receiver, I think, had like 5 catches, 39 yards, but he made some plays when he got the ball in his hands, got some first downs. Those are crucial. He has the ceiling block on David Montgomery's basically game-winning touchdown that they got. If he doesn't make that block, it's probably a run for loss. So he makes that big block, and then, they take the lead. So that's important, especially out of your rookies. You want to see them, especially out of a rookie tight end, to be playing both excellent in the blocking game and in the pass-catching game. So that was nice. I liked seeing that. To continue with the blocking, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was like thoroughly impressed that he's not a big dude, and he was out there run blocking with some tenacity. If they were in those sweeps to the edges, those tosses, whatever it was, the cutbacks, he was out there and he was hit sticking. He was trying to make run blocking. He was trying to make it happen. And a lot of receivers, they don't really want to get in that. They don't want to get physical in the run game because it's like, I'm not touching the ball. I don't get to. It's not sexy. But he was in there. He was in that smash mouth, and he was doing his thing. I was shocked when I saw him line up at fullback. I was like, oh, maybe they're doing some trickery, like maybe getting him out of the backfield. No, he just went straight forward and blocked. I was like, wow, okay, that's different. Like, you got a receiver that is that interested in blocking is, that's a good sign. And it's an embodiment of Dan Campbell. It's kind of where I'm getting with that. So I think what he's done with this team and this franchise is just turned it around, and they have such an edge now that one little mistake doesn't get them down. They just keep coming. And that's the mark of a really, really good team. So I'm interested to see how this continues, because I thought this was like an 11, 12-win team. I thought this was probably the best team in the division. I did like what the Bears did. I do like what the Vikings have. The Packers, we don't know. But I thought the Lions were the best on paper. And in week 1, they got a big win. It was a big win. They played well. They earned the dub on the road against the defending Super Bowl champions. So nonetheless, what were your main takeaways? My biggest ones is that the team just looks like a team that is ran by a man that has a plan for once. They have star power. Hutchinson, Amon-Ra, Gibbs looked good. The rookies all made plays at different points in the game. Secondary looks solid. And I just think that they're one of those teams that, if they stay healthy, is going to be a problem. So who impressed you? As you can tell, probably for me, I was impressed with Amon-Ra and the run blocking. That threw me off. And then Aidan Hutchinson. Those are my 2 biggest takeaways. I love what those dudes did. They were the most effective players in the game, in my opinion. So, good to see. Big dub. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video. But shout out the Lions. That was a big win. 1-0. Thanks for watching. Peace.